When we see Ishiki destroying Naruto and Sasuke, most fans either accept it and move on, or, as I'm doing, argue that while entertaining, Ishiki just isn't that strong. So, I looked at all their abilities between Naruto and Boruto and rewatched their fights in Boruto, so I've put together some of the most easily feasible plays they could have made to just do better. I'm not just going to be arguing stats and what abilities are stupid. It's some forgotten techniques that have been pointed out within the community before, and my own ideas that aren't heavily based on speculation. Neither Naruto or Sasuke fought as well as they could have, so I'm starting with the more obvious of the two, Madara's selfie stick. Because I don't want to just ramble for half an hour, I'll only be explaining relevant topics within Sasuke's power set, and it's usually pretty central to the Rinnegan. We already know most of the Rinnegan's abilities from the Pain Assault arc. Each path represents one of the paths in the Hindu Samsara, with some having subdivisions of their own abilities, plus one ability specific to the user, like Madara's Limbo Clones or Sasuke's switching ability, the Ame no Tejikara. But there is also the seventh outer path of the Rinnegan. This is what allows the user to create pains, use Rinne Rebirth, although that's the Naraka Path thing. What do I know? And most importantly for my argument, it summons and controls the Geto statue. Getting some minor points out of the way first is Sasuke's missing left arm. He could have gotten it back with the Naraka Path and the King of Hell, or he could have used the Ashura Path to create a metal one. Although that would have been a little interesting. Could Ishiki shrink it while it's still attached to his body? Does it not count? I mean, he could have made an arm cannon, I guess, but Jigen never shrunk his sword while they were fighting him in the alternate dimensions, so maybe it'd work. He also didn't use the Ame no Tejikara as well as he could have. Examples like when Ishiki held Kalki by the throat, and when he was trying to protect Boruto from the rods. He could have just as easily swapped places with Ishiki and put Kalki down to run instead of choosing slightly gay masochism. He could have better protected Boruto by swapping him and Ishiki's places to protect and counter, or use one of the rocks bearing him instead of filling himself with holes. As for stopping Borishiki, this is probably the most speculative part of what I've put together, but both Sasuke and Boruto were in the room when Amado was explaining how karma works and what it is and all that. So, using the human path, couldn't Sasuke just pull Momoshiki out of Boruto? I feel like I'm asking more than telling, so answer if you know, or if you've speculated on this before. None of this stuff would really work on its own, but adding it all up, I think it comes out to something. But we're moving on to the real questions now. Most of his problems could have been solved with the outer path, then the Diva/Tendo, whatever you want to call it, would have solidified his spot as one of the strongest in the verse, even compared to Otsutsuki's. The potential uses of other paths of the Rinnegan are limited because of the upscaling of the power system in Boruto, so that's why I left them as a couple minor points in the previous section. Though I could throw ideas around, that would be more speculation, so I wouldn't talk about them. Starting with the Deva/Tendo, because its uses are more clear and easier to explain, a lot of injuries could have been avoided with it, and it was also underutilized. Like in the beginning of the Ishiki fight, Naruto had held down Ishiki, and Ishiki spawned a bunch of massive cubes of them, as one does, but Sasuke decides to avoid it by using Ame no Tejikara as a one-trick pony, when he could have also just pushed it away and continued his attack with the Chidori. But he just can't afford to use it. But that's not a joke, it's literal. The portal he uses to get around between dimensions is actually so expensive it takes 1/3 of his chakra. So every time we see him fight in the alternate dimensions, he needs 1/3 to get there and 1/3 to get back, and he's only operating at 30% power. But he could fix this issue by summoning the Geto statue and absorbing it into himself. We remember Kurama said that it has so much life force and chakra that anyone who gets the tailed beasts pulled out of them has a decent chance at living with a few months rest. As for what he could do with this newfound chakra, I think there's better things to spend it on than the Devapath's abilities, like the EMS. In Boruto, he hardly ever has it active for a long period of time because it's too expensive to upkeep, and he only makes do with using the base version and only activating the EMS momentarily. It would further enhance his visual prowess that was already able to discern what his Sukuna Hikona ability was during the Jigen fight, and he could also put more of the chakra into boosting his physical stats, though he wouldn't be able to get to the level of someone like Naruto or Ishiki, but he could come pretty close with the EMS backing him up. Those are all my points for this video. Let me know what you think. I don't know if this is enough to let him go toe-to-toe against Ishiki, but maybe against Fuse Momoshiki he could solo. Would helping Boruto be as simple as taking Momoshiki's soul out with the human path? Or did I get anything wrong? Am I overstating the chakra and life force of the Geto statue? Just let me know what you think, and maybe I am wrong. If this does well, I'll make a part 2 on Boruto's dad if I feel like it. See you whenever.